I asked him to come and speak because I think being a caddy, I'll tell you a little bit more, by the way, about his background in a moment, but being a caddy presents some unique issues. Particularly being a caddy for Stephen presents some unique issues. One is part of your role is to coach your boss. Okay, so those of you involved in teaching know that's one of the big fears, isn't it, of a manager is, well, how am I going to have the conversation with the boss? Well, all your conversations are with your boss as a caddy. Your role is to do that, and if you upset your boss, you can be fired.
There we are at match play. We go against Tiger Woods. That's a 2-drink story, so you can see me afterwards. But it was absolutely the most crushing defeat ever seen in the game of golf when it came to match play. Okay, so then you say to yourself, wow, okay, how are you going to come back? And Stephen plays with the other side of his brain. Stephen is the artist. He likes to paint the picture. He likes to talk about how the ball is going to fly. And I'm going, as you will see, dude, it's the numbers. Just hit the ball. So how we got to this breakthrough performance that Alan said 4 weeks later after match play was by changing how I needed to do it. We get shellacked. I looked it up in the dictionary. I use it. I just didn't know if it was a real word. So that's what I put it in there. So we go from match play. We win the 5th major. Voila. But what really happened in between that 4 or 5 week period? Okay? You call in the great Alan Fine, and the approach gets tweaked, and the interference goes away. I don't need to tell you about interference. You all know about interference. But for Stephen, he really wanted a truly quiet mind. Couldn't understand that. So Alan pulls me aside, and he sits me down, and he goes, so, dude, this is how it's going to go, right? And here's a conversation with yours truly. Starts off, and he goes, less is more. And I'm going, hello? No. You need the information. You need to know where the trees are. You need to know where the water is going to be, et cetera, et cetera. He then goes, Robbie, you need to get out of the way. Very hard concept to really grasp. Because when you feel like you're a true partner and you're working in tandem and you're saying, I need to take a step back, really difficult. But if you're going to have a breakthrough performance, that's what's needed. Stephen plays better with a quiet mind. But for Stephen, through what Alan was able to work with, he discovered that as long as Stephen's mind was super quiet, then you can really do this. And then Alan is then telling me, Robbie, let Stephen drive the bus. So that's in brackets. And why is that in brackets? I don't want to ever see anybody crash. I don't want to ever see anybody fail. And if I can grab you from the depths of the, cave that you're in before you really crash, I want to do that. But I had to understand that he had to be in control. And after we had that wonderful conversation over 3 days, because, it takes a little time because I'm dumb as a rock, what do you get? 17th hole here at TPC, and the conversation went with Alan to tell me, Robbie, in order for you to make this work, you have to stand up and you have to ask him, Steve, what do you want to do with this shot? And so he had to then turn to me and go, well, I want to hit it left to right, and if he can pick out the top of a tree so he can see it, he says, you see the top of that tree? If I can get the ball to maybe just crest over that way back in the distance. He had to really visualize it. I had to listen. I had to accept whatever information he needed, I gave, and I stepped away. He became the bus driver. What was the result? The 5th major in golf. There are really 4 majors in golf. People know it with tennis as well. Alan would know it. Australian Open, the French Open. Sorry, I know you don't like the French. The English Open, and of course the US Open for tennis. For golf, it's the Masters, it's US Open, it's the British Open, it's the PGA. And the Players Championship is considered the 5th major because it has the strongest field, the biggest purse, and it really was looking for a stamp to get onto the PGA Tour. That it is the title that it became, so it became the 5th major. So 10 years later, almost to the week, where are we? My goal was very simple. I don't even have to look at it. I wanted to offer the best experience, and I wanted to have the best conditioned golf course on the island. 2-prong approach, really simple. How do I do that? had to get the buy-in from the team of employees. It had to be a win-win. They had to understand that it was their club, not just my club. I had to really understand that the more money the club made through people coming to play golf at Cinnamon Hill Golf Course, if you were a caddy, it was the old fact of there was trickle-down effect. More rounds of golf, more times you got to caddy, more times you got to caddy, more times you got paid, more times you got paid, more tips you got. Great job that you did, repeat business, hence goes the hamster wheel. Excuse me, but the hamster wheel has to start somewhere, so we started. Then the options. I presented a really super clear strategy as to how we were going to do it, and then get on the bus. So you had to really get the right people on the bus. And those are where you got to have the tough conversations. We all know about the tough conversations. We have them every day. Let's get them focused. You form a trust bond with those individuals in Jamaica by knowing that you were always there for them. That anything that they needed within your power that you could provide, can provide. Somebody was talking about budget. Oh, let's use our budget. There's no budget in Jamaica. Right? Period, done. There's nothing. So you had to do everything out of the goodness of your heart. So you got to be able to do more with less. And be it that I can bring in someone that's doing barbecue just so as a way of saying thank you, which had never been done before. It's the little things that gets them really tied in. Now, let's fast forward to Desert Mountain. Now it's big league. You're working with true professionals. How do you get that trust? It's back to, in my opinion, and please jump in because I'm the one talking all day, is it's really, again, the same basic principle, listening.
It's interesting to me, your question about trust, because when you were talking the other day, Bob, about what a great coaches do, one of the things that I heard you say, and I've kind of used the same research, if you like, the great coaches are caring and supportive in what they do. And I've watched Robbie at work, both with Stephen and at Desert Mountain and at Cinnamon Hill. The reason people trust him is because he cares about them. Yeah, and it starts with that and gets expressed in all kinds of behavior. And you epitomize it to me. We're very grateful for you to come and take this time to speak with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.